Hey, it's the Hybrid Live Show coming to you live from the United Kingdom. We are on early for the East Coast people, but it's a regular evening here um, in the United Kingdom. We were going to start at 6:30, but it's 6:26. What do you know?
It's indeed, Matt. Well, it's always better to start early than start late, isn't it?
I think so. I apologize if you're watching this video after the fact. It looks crappy because I'm on an older computer. I don't know if you listened last week. I ran over my computer, or I didn't run over my computer. Somebody ran over my computer. So a new computer will be ordered probably when I get home. Let me make sure this is actually working properly. Like, can you hear this?
No, we can hear it. It's fine.
No, but can you hear this though? Are you listening here or are you listening here? Because there's a big difference. Let me go to the. Hang on a second. Let me go to the audio hijack while we wait for others to join us here.
This is almost like a before show, like a prelim show that you have for a sports event. Brendan King says it is working. He can hear and see you. I
Well, I'm
presume he's referring to you, Matt.
I'm very aware that you can hear and see me. I want to make sure you can hear me through this microphone and not through the computer's microphone. That is what is important to me at this time, which is what I am confirming right now. It's like the wrestling show. It's like the matches that happen before the TV starts, right?
So this is like the dark stage, dark match, I guess, although it's not a match.
Oh, I just heard a beep. So we're going to be joined momentarily by someone. Let's find out who it is. Okay, so give me a check, Ian.
Can you hear me okay? Check, check.
Okay, I can hear you, but I'm not hearing myself. This is why I wanted to make sure I could do this. Hang on.
Meanwhile, we do have blur on, but you may see the intern walking back and forth behind me, viewer, from time to time.
Okay, hang on. This is not coming through properly. All right, this is why I did this. Hold, please. Apologies. All right. I am going to leave and come back. One moment, please. You can talk
Okay.
about your weekend maybe while I do this, Dave. I mean, whatever your name is. You can talk about
Well,
watching.
well,
You can talk about watching my lunges while I come back. I'll be right back.
right, listener. Well, whilst Matt sorts out his technical difficulties, I believe we're probably live to YouTube, so I'm going to do my best here. Um, those of you who may not have checked out UK.hxr yet, we followed Matt and Stuart from Wad Elite as they did the hybrid NW yesterday. It is an event which Matt's going to have a full show on, and we might talk a little bit about, but it was one of the newer hybrid events over here in the UK. It was outside in Stockport, which is a city just a little south of Manchester. Some people think it is Manchester, but no, they are a separate city with their own town hall, their own town and that. And they do have a lovely part there with a athletics track, which this event was happening on. Great day for it. We had one of probably our 15 days of sunshine that we have in the UK every so often. And it was glorious. But Matt and Stuart took this test of 9 stations, which we'll get into maybe on this show, maybe not. And Matt did the lunges, and well, I will say he struggled a little bit with the lunges. They were dumbbell lunges, which are never particularly good. Let's be honest. We all prefer sandbags where we can because you get it on your shoulder, so it feels like the weight's more evenly distributed. Whereas if you got dumbbells by your side, you're just leaning back and forth. It's really tests out your core strength. And with apologies to Matt because he will listen to this back later. His core strength wasn't great. I will say that Stuart's was perfect. He did the lunges amazing. Also, while we talk about Matt's race, he really struggled on the burpees, but I guess we all struggle on the burpees. I wish I'd done this race, except for one element. The one element was they had dumbbell snatches in it, 20 kg. I really struggle on dumbbell snatches. It's not my favorite exercise in any way, shape, or form. And I think Matt was struggling with them a little bit too. So that was Hybrid NW. We'll probably get into it a little bit more when Matt comes on the show. What else happened this weekend? Well, as well, this weekend, we had, over here in the UK, we had level 7 as well. Matt has now joined us. We may go into level 7 in a second. We have got a whole host of people from all over. Matt, I was just briefly telling them about your lunges and the additional core strength that you need when you're doing it with a dumbbell, and I suggested it wasn't your favorite exercise.
The snatches were actually the worst. Cameron, please stop typing. Who's typing?
Not me.
Kevin, stop fucking typing. My listeners are going to be like, I was trying to work out and all I heard was this guy fucking typing over and over again. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. I apologize. I'm all out of sorts. I'm in another country. My computer got run over, but I'm so happy to have everybody here from all over the world. I asked you all to come on pretty much last minute. Ian K is from just south of me in, where are you, Bolton? Ian, where do you live?
Just north of Manchester.
Just give me the town name.
Well, there's no town name. It's literally between Rochdale and Oldham. There's various little villages around here. I'm not going to completely dox myself on your show.
Oh, okay. I apologize. Kevin Gregory from Connecticut, and Cameron Cleaver coming back on for the first time in maybe a year, all the way from South Africa.
Hello, Maddie.
How excited are you about the news today?
Oh man, which part of the news? It just looks like there's so many races. We were waiting for some big news. We thought, in inverted commas, that it was going to be Cape Town. I think what makes me super excited, it's our first race weekend. We've only had single day races. Now we've gone to a Saturday and a Sunday. And the Sunday is my birthday. So really looking forward to it.
Well, that is awesome. Yeah, I kind of want to start there. I want to start talking about the oh, I know why this is doing this. It says duplicate right. How about mono? Is that working? My fucking my thing is not working, guys. I'm really apologize. We're just going to go with video only. There we go. Okay. So, I want to start with this announcement. We saw Hyrox launched a bunch of cities, and what they did was they announced each region's own Instagram post, and then it looks like the cities actually continued. Well, first of all, on my end, I couldn't get the website to open. I asked Kevin. Kevin, you said you could see it. I had this error earlier today. Let me see if I can find the screenshot. And then as I kept going, people were like, what about this city? What about this city? And I'm like, they're not there. And then I looked again, and they were there. So, yeah, this is what I got earlier today for Hyrox.com. I thought, oh, everyone's so excited. Did you get that where you were, Cameron?
No, we didn't. I mean, it's so Hyrox South Africa kept saying like there's some big news coming. We all a little bit confused as to what it was. I mean, as you know, I've been a Hyrox brand ambassador since the start, but through business ventures recently, I've had to exit that. I mean, Hyrox is still the pinnacle of my
They
racing.
kicked you out. Cameron, be honest. They gave you the boot. They sacked you. They said, enough of your shenanigans, Cameron. Get out of here.
No, unfortunately not. There was actually, I think they would have liked to have, but they didn't or couldn't. But yeah, I saw the guys literally last weekend in Johannesburg where we raced up there, and I'm still very close with the guys. I just, you can't be a brand ambassador and them share internal sort of sensitive information where you are basically running one of their competitor racing platforms in the same country. That was the kind of conflict of interest that made me move away. Me personally, Hyrox is always going to be my pinnacle of fitness racing, and thereafter, what I've kind of taken on.
Yeah, so I announced 25 plus cities. That was everything after Chicago. 5 of them had actually already been announced by my count, but all in all, it was 20. And then these additional 5, including Abu Dhabi, they still don't have Toronto in there, but they released the North America map, and it says Toronto, which I think they meant for this season. So it seems like they wanted to get out the news so fast. They weren't exactly like, it didn't have to be perfect. They were just like, cool, let's just announce a ton of these and we'll sort out the rest later. What do you think, Ian?
Well, firstly, is anyone else hearing a buzzing, or is this localized to me? It sounds like there's like a waterfall going on in the background. I'm not sure who that is. Oh, that might have been you, Matt.
Hang on.
It's Maddie.
Oh, no. No, mine's disconnecting. It's still going. Should we all mute one at a time just to see who it is? So I'll... Okay. No, it seems to have gone.
Okay.
Cool. Oh well, we'll carry on. Okay, this will be this will probably be the last weekly show Matt ever does from the UK.
Do you still hear it?
Yeah, I still hear it. Just a
faintly, or faintly nice.
Can you just mute you?
Kevin, can you mute really quickly, Kevin? Yeah, it's Kevin. Okay. Don't mute Cameron, just Kevin.
Okay. So, Maddie, have you been able to see if you can actually book any of these races yet? Because I've obviously gone on to try book Cape Town, and it says it's you can't actually book any of these races yet. And there's some great cities on this calendar.
Yeah, and I think I'm fine with that for now. I think they had this weird notion that if they had Dallas live and Atlanta wasn't sold out yet, that they wouldn't sell out Dallas, which is insane. And it's just like, guys, like, your events are going to sell out. It's fine. The only time it doesn't make sense is if you're going to New York twice, you don't release the fall New York before spring New York is sold out, right? So, but we're not even close to that anymore. So I don't know why they just don't go live the minute they know they booked it in. But I'll take this as an improvement. At least we can now plan our schedules accordingly, right? And so for America, we really didn't get much, right? We got 2 cities that we probably knew they would be at anyway, but we don't have any new cities, and we don't know what spring is going to bring, which we assume will finally be cities like San Francisco or Boston, which, something like that. But I'm happy that they at least released them.
Yeah, it's nice to see a couple in South America. There's definitely another South African date that will be coming on this calendar. Talk is November. Our assumptions, it was always supposed to be Cape Town, Johannesburg, and Durban. It doesn't look like Durban will materialize at all, from what I've heard. So it should be Johannesburg twice. So I think look out for potentially Johannesburg in November again.
Yeah, so they announced the website is down. So it wasn't just me. I guess that's what we call a quality problem. It's like they broke their own internet. Kevin, you're very quiet. We know you're the king of Deca Town. What are your thoughts on all these Hyrox dates, buddy?
It's exciting. My concern is that once they open, and I tried to go into I don't know, one of the U.S. cities that had opened, Dallas or something in the fall. They're going to sell out super fast. I like the fact that there's 2 days in a lot of them, which is good. But you know, my concern over the last couple of years, and I'm sure it's way worse in the UK, but they announce the date, it opens, and then it sells in 24 hours, and you're like, I didn't even know if I could go to that date yet, and then you're scrambling to try to get secondhand tickets from untrusted sources.
Well,
Agreed.
I did meet the gentleman from Rocks Tickets, or one of the Rocks Tickets gentlemen's yesterday, and I really liked him, and he's a great dude. And I said, aren't you worried that Hyrox is eventually going to do it themselves? And he says, not really. If they do it, great. We served the community for the time that we could. They make $20 a pop, so they're not doing it for charity. But to me, that makes it all better. Like, for example, I was trying to get a Thursday ticket, and up until about a week ago, there were only 1 or 2. And then last time I looked, there were like 10. So I think there'll always be that. And I get DMs all the time. I'm trying to sell my ticket. So I think if you want to go bad enough, you can. But yeah, it's not ideal. But I mean, that, if they're putting on 2-day events and then 3 days in some cities, what are you going to do? Atlanta finally got added an extra day. I'm thrilled about that. Not sure why they waited on that, but you're coming down now, right, Kevin? You're not coming down now.
It's lacrosse season. Unless I get a game in Mercer or something. It's not going to happen.
Okay. Yeah, I was just messaging Ian that Fit Fest I usually go to in Birmingham, the first weekend in December, is now also Hyrox London. So I should come over and double dig, right?
Absolutely. Based on the email, it sounds like this is the new normal, that they will release the dates pretty much when they're happy it's going to be confirmed. We also saw with Cardiff that, because even though officially they've not released the date and where it is, they put a TBC on there as well. So I expect we probably will see a bit more of that. So Cameron, if they go to another South African city, it wouldn't surprise me if initially you get a TBC and then they release it. The weird thing about Cardiff is if you actually click through, it tells you both the date and where it is. So evidently they're working on this in the background, and with a view to have their usual big news coming, and that would be ready to go. And when they released it all today, they forgot to edit the script behind it. So
wait a minute, it does have the date?
Yeah, if you click through, providing it's not test data, so all of this is unofficial until it's official, but providing it's not test data, which is there when you click the link on Cardiff, it says it will be the end of May, early June, and what's more, it's going to be at the Principality Stadium, which is the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff, so it'll be another stadium event. But it's unofficial until it's official, because it doesn't officially say TBC, and that could just be test script there. But you never know, maybe going to another venue. You just don't know.
Well, I saw the venue, and I even changed your wording, because your wording said something like maybe supposed to be, and I was like, no, it clearly is, but I didn't see the date. You mean that would mean the event's going to take place in 6 weeks if it's the end of May?
Yes, pretty much. Welcome to UK's world.
Do you think that they would do that?
Yes, I do. I'm fairly convinced, because they've done that for London as well. London was announced with only 8 weeks left. But yeah, as we're recording this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 12 weeks. There's 12 weeks as we're recording it. May has 5 weekends. We've still got 3 weekends left in March. So it's 12 weeks. That seems more than enough time. And they'll sell out.
Cardiff is, tell people where Cardiff is. I know it's in Wales, but tell people what they would need to know about Wales or Cardiff.
Oh, For those of you who have no idea where Wales is, it's the little bit of the belly on the United Kingdom, just above the foot if you're looking at it. Cardiff is towards the lower part of that, so it's kind of like southwest. It is fulfilling the probably final desert in the UK, with the exception of the northeast where Newcastle is. Southwest does not yet have a Hyrox event. We have lots of great Welsh and Southwest athletes who are probably really happy that this has finally been confirmed that it's happening, because, well, it's been rumored for a while now, ever since a certain other event put Cardiff as a list of cities. I think a podcaster may have shared a post on that. Do you remember that?
Are you talking about Deca or Ethics, or who are you talking about?
I'm talking about Hyrox Toronto, when there was a poster of the various cities, including Cardiff.
Oh yeah, that was me. Well, interestingly enough, Dave, Ian, I'm just going to call you Dave for the rest of this episode. I took a train up here, beautiful 3-hour train ride, and I thought if only American trains were like pleasant and easy to travel, and like you could get off on a city and then get on another train to go to other places in that city. First of all, no matter what train station you're going to, whether it's rural or in the country, there's always multiple employees to answer questions for you. You never have to worry. In America, like, good luck trying to find an employee that gives a shit about anything, about where the machine is or how it works or how you get to where you're going. I mean, luckily with online ticketing and everything, things have gotten really easy. But one thing I noticed, I left your country, Ian. I'm in a new country. No one asked me for an identification.
You're still in my country. You're in the United Kingdom still. All you did is effectively cross state lines.
Well, are you telling me that Scotland is not a nation of people?
Scotland is a nation of people, in the same way that people from Texas will not necessarily consider themselves to be American. Texas first and then American.
Do they not have their own government, Ian?
They have a devolved government, just like Texas has their state government.
Listen, if it was the same, then there wouldn't be different flags in the Olympics, Ian.
There is not different flags in the Olympics. United Kingdom is the same. Yeah, as Cameron said, it's Great Britain.
The Union Jack at the Olympics.
Yeah,
well, wouldn't you? But wouldn't you want to have your Scottish flag if you're from Scotland?
Oh, now we're opening a hornet's nest. Yeah.
Yeah, in the Olympics you'll have the Union Jack. In the Commonwealth Games and the FIFA World Cup, you will have St. Andrew's Cross.
Well, I just expected when I got out, someone would ask for my identification. But I know it's not America where they may not even let you in, but I just thought someone would ask me. That's all.
Matt, have you bought anything with cash yet?
No, I don't touch what I call dirty COVID money. I only pay with card or my phone.
Okay, well, if you pay with cash, you'll probably get different currency back. They print their own money up there. It's slightly different to the one that you have in the UK. Well, sorry, the ones you have down in England and Wales. See, you've even got me doing it now. I don't even know where I live anymore.
Brazil checking in. Thank you very much, Brazil, for checking in. They're excited. They got a date as well.
They got 2.
So, Cameron,
Yeah.
I heard my buddy Matt Halfell came down and tried to cherry pick a world spot. What do you think what do you think the next place to do that would be?
Oh, did you hear what happened?
I did hear what happened. I hear they giveth and they taketh away.
Yeah, so we had a World Cup spot, and 2 weeks later we got told it got taken away. I kind of left it to Matt to try to sort out, but I was very thankful for him coming down. I mean, I'd been sick for about 4 months. I'd run a total of about 14 kilometers before the race, and I just said to Maddie, I switched out from men's pro to doubles, and I just said, run, and I'll just stick on your shoulder. So it was a long. It felt very long. Matt was incredible. There's no way I would have got around the course without him. But yeah, I think, picking the next target, I was kind of hoping for Johannesburg last weekend. And then I tore my pec and my bicep water skiing a couple of weeks ago. So I ended up doing mixed doubles with a friend, Roxy from Hyrox, South Africa. And shame, she pulled her hamstring on the second run. So we had an incredibly long down the track. We did a 147. From getting a white flag in the first race to doing a 147 in the second race was vastly different. But we finished. She was an absolute trooper. We did a lot of walking, but it gave me the opportunity to gain a little bit more experience in the stations. So myself and my missus, we had signed up to Poland next for Warsaw. But us trying to get visas to Poland just seems near impossible. So we've kind of bailed on that idea. So my next big race, personally, I'm still crossing fingers. Myself and Aaron James from the UK, we're going to race men's pro doubles. We go for AG World Champs. So I think we'll do very well there at London Olympia. So that's still fingers crossed. We haven't got our ticket yet, but he seems to be able to think that he can get it. And then, we've obviously got Cape Town coming up. Let me tell you, Johannesburg was no joke. It's 5,000 feet above sea level. It's the altitude really does get to the guys. I think everyone saw the times were quite a lot slower. Almost everyone, the more sort of elite athletes or sort of better athletes, more experienced athletes, were about 5 minutes slower per race, whether it was doubles or singles.
Right, but if you're going for that AG spot, it really doesn't matter as long as you win your age group.
Yeah, that one. I had. We're gonna lose you on the live, Matty.
We've just killed Matt. That was great. Yeah, what have you eaten today, Matt? I'm gonna try. Cameron, did you mention that you're gonna race with? Is it AJ Hyrox that you're gonna come up to London?
That's him.
Awesome. I will see you there. Presumably male pro. You're gonna try for an Elite 15 spot.
Gee, well, that would be great.
No pressure.
He's an incredible athlete. I was very excited for Poland. I was going to be racing 3 times. Paul Gilliam actually asked me to come race relay with him, and he's someone that I've wanted to race with. Probably the first male athlete I actually wanted to race with. So I'm very lucky. Especially the Brits and the American athletes are very kind to me. A lot of them want to race with me, and they kind of reach out. Unfortunately, living at the arse end of Africa, it's quite difficult to travel to a lot of events, and it's not even the travel costs, it's just getting visas. Incredibly difficult for us, unfortunately.
It's the visa situation. Like, to come to the UK, do you still need a visa?
We do. So the problem is, let's say we wanted to, race Poland. We have to get a Schengen visa. My brother, a lot of my family lives in the UK, between London and Scotland, and then we have to get a British visa on top of that. So it does get pretty expensive. But I did think Poland was a great option. I was very confident. There's 3 races on that weekend. I wanted to go do men's pro there and mixed doubles. And yeah, we'd have to be applying for our visa next week. We literally just cannot get in touch with the Polish embassy in South Africa. So I'm selling those tickets. And yeah, I'm going to focus on London rather. That's going to be the next race. But now that this calendar's come out, I know my girlfriend personally, she'll be very excited to see Dublin on the calendar. She definitely wants to do that. I'm a big fan of Italy, so any of the Italian races will be right at the top for me.
All right, well, let's dive into the Elite 15 this weekend, shall we? First of all, we do have a prediction contest. Go to our stories right now, and you can see the link. Is it up? It's up in our stories, right? Oh, fuck. Why is my plug working? Sorry, guys.
I'm fairly sure it is up there already. I clicked on it earlier. I need to share it too in my stories. I'm sure everyone else on this call will.
Come on, man. Let's get on it. Let's pull up who's going. Did you do your homework, Kevin?
No, I'm finding the link right now so I can make my picks. Oh, there it is.
You don't have to make your picks, but I just wanted you to do your homework for this call so you'd know who was racing.
That's what I'm looking for.
Matt, quick one.
Yes, sir.
Before we move on to Elite 15, our Brazilian friend, I've just noticed there was a question at the end where it said, what year full of races will be 2025? Can it be dangerous for quality? I'm guessing he means, do you reckon quality is going to drop? What do you reckon?
I mean, where have we seen I don't know that that's been a problem. Have you seen that be a problem?
I've not. I will say for those in Brazil that the head of Brazil is actually the former head of the UK. He headed over there, so I suspect it's going to be really, really run well over there. So make sure you book on as soon as tickets become available. And I suspect you'll get the same race that we have in the UK, but perhaps not as crowded for the first couple. Oh, someone else has joined.
Grayson has joined.
How's it going,
He's on the
gentlemen?
bubble. You gonna get that Elite 15 qualifier this year, Grayson?
Yeah, baby, it's gonna happen.
We were just about to start talking about who's racing this weekend. I'm
Ooh,
sorry,
good.
I'm dealing with multiple messages. I was trying to get people on the show as you're finding. So, Grayson, where'd you go, buddy?
Can you hear me? I feel like I'm still here. My face is gone somehow.
I can hear you, but I cannot see you, sir.
Okay. What's a guy got to do to be seen?
I don't know. You were there a second ago.
I know. I was here. No, that's not it. I'm back.
Huh?
Tough time
Who do you
for
like?
Boise.
Who do you like this weekend, Grayson?
Man.
It's actually Wednesday. I'm sorry. It's not even this weekend. It's in 2 days. Today is Monday. It's in 2 days.
Yeah. I've been thinking a lot about not necessarily paying attention to who's gonna win the thing, but I
can't see you again. Where did you go, buddy?
Man. I'm trying to do this from my iPhone right now because the link was texted. If you could send it like,
what could you email it to yourself then maybe?
Oh, yep. Let me try that. Okay, I'm gonna go away and then try again.
All right, we're gonna talk about this without you. Ian K.
Davis.
Did you see that your friend Graham is going to race?
When you say Graham, you mean Graham, yeah?
What am I saying and what are you saying?
I'm saying sorry, you mean Graham Halliday is going to race in his actually his hometown, let alone home country.
Well, first of all, what did I say and what did you say?
You said Graham, as in what you measure.
And how do you say it?
Graham.
Ask him to say Craig.
Sorry. Oh dear, I'm never going to be asked to come on the show again, listener. So sorry.
Okay, where did now I lost what's his name? Oh, for fuck's sake.
Grayson logged out so he could log back in from his computer.
That is correct.
Do you want to run through that? I'm sorry, it said tiny for me.
Yeah, I'll that's what she said. Let me pull. I gotta let him back in. Oh, so many screens.
Can you say you're doing so well, given that this is doing it in a hotel room on your second laptop? You're doing an amazing from home studio.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. God damn it.
Grayson's back though, and we can see him.
I'm here. Am I here? I feel like I'm here.
Grayson, did you hear that somebody ran over my computer?
No.
Somebody ran over my computer.
Are you in Katie's office?
Yeah, I am. What'd they run your computer over with? A car?
An automobile, apparently.
No. I'm sorry.
Never happened to in the States.
That's odd. That's an odd thing. Like, was it in your bag?
It was in my bag. I saw
Frozen
dropped
up.
it out of my
Is Matt gone? Frozen? We got Grayson back. We lost Matt. What a trade.
Right,
Grayson,
okay.
this is basically what you've missed for the last half hour. It's been Matt having technical difficulties with headphones and tech, and then buzzing. Cameron's in South Africa. He's been great. Ian K's in the UK. He's been great. We're in the States. He's been smooth. But Matt in some hotel room in some hostel somewhere in parts unknown has had all the difficulties.
Sure.
He's up there in up in Scotland, and I've got to ask who's got the doggy sweet toy?
Oh, that's my Boston Terrier. She found it at the neighbor's house. She went to the neighbor's house and got this toy because we don't buy squeaky toys here. It's a bald eagle because we're in America, you know.
Oh, that is cool. Grayson, we all said earlier where we were hailing from. Where are you joining us from?
Yeah, I'm from Boise, Idaho, in the United States. So currently posted up in Katie Duke's office with all these awesome medals behind me, and excited to be with this crew this morning.
Oh, wow. The only thing I know about Boise is Smurf turf.
That's pretty much it, and we're proud of it. We're absolutely proud of it.
Yeah. Well,
Grayson,
that and potatoes.
Grayson, how far are you from Idaho Falls?
From Idaho Falls?
Yeah.
Well, it's got to be just under 2 hours, I think.
That's my stepbrother lives there.
Seriously?
Yeah, he's
What are the
married to
chances?
He flies rescue helicopters, so that's why he's sort of over that side.
Oh, sure. Okay. Wow.
Should we start?
Idaho?
You don't know if Maddie's coming back.
Oh, he's back.
Yes.
We have got Matt back.
Hey, how's it?
We finished. We went through the entire preview. We can now wrap up the show. Great show, everyone.
Did we talk about the athletes or no?
No. No, we talked about Smurf turf, potatoes, Idaho Falls, and the squeaky toy that Kevin Gregory's terrier stole from the neighbors.
I can't tell if you're being serious.
No, I'm being completely serious.
I know you don't edit the show. You can listen back and catch what you missed.
Gosh, I have no idea if we're gonna have Matt here. Should we just? I don't know. Do you want to carry on, guys? Should we talk about the athletes? What do you reckon? Show of hands.
Sounds good to me. You're not going to be able to put the list up.
It's okay. Oh, Matt is back. We made sure to get the list. Does anyone have is anyone comfortable with just knowing which athletes are racing this weekend? Presumably, you've actually checked. If not, quickly pop onto Instagram and just pull it up on your phones.
I've got the men's list pulled up on my phone right now.
Perfect. I guess we'll go through it while Matt tries to deal with his technical problem. Grayson, I think you're trying to say that when you're looking through it, you're thinking not just podium, you're thinking who's going to qualify as well. Is that how you've been looking at that list? Because that's how I've been looking at that list.
Absolutely. It's such a unique race, right? This is the last major before the World Championship. And there's I'm looking at the men's list right now, and the same is true about the women's race. But we're looking at a high number of these guys that have already qualified. So there's a chance that racing for the podium may not be someone's top priority in this race. In fact, I've listened to a couple of athletes already say that they might be paying more attention to who's a potential to qualify and racing that race rather than simply trying to get into the podium position. So it's a unique race style. So I think I have a different list of people that, people I think are going to podium versus people that I think are going to race differently for the sake of qualifying for the World Championship.
Appears to have choked everyone out except me and you, Grayson. So let's go with it for the time being, and hopefully they can all rejoin us.
Okay.
In terms of the people who, let's go through the list in terms of who do you think has the best chance of qualifying? Who is it kind of like it's do or die at the moment?
Oh, yeah. Well, wouldn't you think that and I'm going to butcher his last name, unfortunately, but wouldn't you think that it's like Michael Sandbach has to do something during this race, right? He has to finish this race. He has to qualify. This is his shot.
Yeah, it is one of them that, well, it's not his only shot because, of course, the last chance qualifier is in Barcelona. And if I'm going to Barcelona, I've said this on another podcast, there's certain athletes that I hope qualify in Glasgow because if they don't qualify in Glasgow, I don't want to see them in Barcelona. But you are right. Michael Sandbach is definitely one of the higher names who you think, look, he has to do well today. Well, not today, beg your pardon, in 2 days' time. We are aware he's been very open about it on his socials that 2024 was a crummy year from him from a personal point of view. Yeah. We all had them years. He has gone away. He's been training hard. I think he's been in Dubai recently, perhaps with some of the Red Bull athletes, and he's done okay there. But yeah, Michael Sandbach, he really does need to probably get out to a quick start, would you say?
I think that might be the only way he races. I don't know that I've seen him I don't know that I've ever seen him race for anything but a podium or race to win the whole dang thing. So it'd be very unique to see him start slow and think about racing for a qualification spot and plan to finish the race at all costs. I don't know if I've ever seen him do that. Maybe he has, or maybe I haven't been paying close enough attention. But I think he's likely to get off to a fast start. That's kind of his style.
No, absolutely. Looking at some of the other people who haven't qualified, I'm going to give a quick plug to our good friend Flo, by the way. If you go to Hyrox Daily on Instagram, he's done a great job of basically putting all the names like you've got a Hyrox, but he's kind of like struck across those which have now qualified. So I'll quickly go through the qualified men. We've got Hunter McIntyre, we've got JK, James Kelly, we've got Peleo Fernandez, we've got Tim Venish, we've got Bo Wills, and we have got Graham Halliday. So all of those guys are qualifying. They're here for prize money, and in the case of Graham, to have a homecoming. So you've got those. But looking at some of these other people who have not qualified, someone who sticks out to me is Ryan Ken and Rich Ryan. To me, I think they've got more pressure than anyone else, mainly because they don't want to come back across the pond to go to Barcelona.
Right. That was going to be exactly my next thought, and I've listened to the podcasts where Rich Ryan has been very open, saying like he really wants to make it happen in Glasgow because he doesn't want to make another trip to Barcelona. So I think Ryan Kent would make the trip to Barcelona if he had to, and maybe Rich would too. But those are certainly two gentlemen that have been in the big show before. They know how to do it. They want to be there again, and it's not a reach for them, right? It's something they've done many times. So it's almost like I would assume it may feel like there's extra pressure as athletes who have been there before to make sure that they get back there at all costs. Whereas some of these other guys, let's talk about like Sean Noble, for example, was supposed to be in the Vegas major and didn't make it because he was on site and hurt his ankle. So now he's getting another shot, and he's never been there before. But he's going to want to take a shot, but it's maybe not the same pressure that a Rich Ryan or a Ryan Kent might be carrying on their shoulders for this race.
Yeah, Sean is an interesting case to some degree because, of course, he had that knee injury which kept him out of Vegas. It was only, sorry, I'm listener in advance, I'm doing this maths quickly in my head, only 6 weeks ago. I'm not sure how quickly he can get over that. He is basically doing it for experience, and I would love him to prove me wrong because he's a nice guy. I can almost hear... for those of you who are probably watching live, we do have everyone still here, but due to Matt's signal at the moment, it's just me and Grayson. So I can imagine Bubbles at the moment is fuming with me, perhaps saying that. I'm kidding, Bubbles. I don't know what you think of Sean Noble. But I know Sean's got some bad press, but he's doing this just for the experience. And I'm sure if the opportunity arises, where he can qualify, yes, he'll go that far. I don't know him from a hole in the wall. Okay, thank you, Kevin. Apologies for suggesting that. But yeah, I think for Sean, the pressure's off. You mentioned some people who the pressure is on. So definitely Michael Sandbach, definitely our American friends. And Brendan King here has said Sandy, Rich, and Jake for qualifying. We've not talked about Jake Dearden yet, Grayson. What do you think?
I got to watch him in Vegas, and he's made a few. I think he's made a few appearances in some of the majors at this point, and he's had great races. He was right on the bubble in Vegas. I think he's a great pick for someone who could absolutely break in if he's healthy and if he's ready to roll. So I'd say good picks by Brendan King. It's a great idea.
What about, while we're talking about some people who it would feel wrong to not have them in the championship, Jonathan Wynn? John Wynn?
Oh, absolutely. It seems like he's always, every time he goes, and you're right, in Vegas, he was just on the outside of where he wanted to be. And then he went back to a few European races and landed some really nice times. He hit his goal times, and now he's back in for the Elite 15 for Glasgow. I think he's been such a staple. We've watched him in so many races in the years past. It would be odd to not see him there. I would also say the same for, how do you say his first name? I'm reading Tomas, but I've heard people say Tomasz. It would be odd to not see him in the mix as well.
I would probably pronounce it Thomas or Tomas. I'll be honest, he's from the Czech Republic, from Czechia. I'm not that good with Germanic names, so listen, I apologize in advance. It's took me forever to retrain myself to say Michael Sandbach. Yes, we can, Matt. Are you back?
There he is.
I really apologize. Thank God Ian and Grayson are here to keep the listeners entertained. Grayson, I really would like to have you on the show more often, my friend.
It's good to be here. I love talking Hyrox. I love talking to you guys. I love talking. You know that.
We got really deep last time you were on. Do you remember how deep we got? We got very real.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that. I'm one of those awkward guys that's always one sentence away from getting super real about you. So I just look into your soul for a second and tell you what I think.
I think that's awesome. That's my kind of guy. Ian, on the other hand, he's stiff upper lip. He's Englishman. He's very, you may not be able to to go through or pierce that outer shell he has, but I'm easy.
Well, Ian has done a fantastic job of carrying this podcast while you were trying to figure out your stuff over there. So I'm immediately a fan.
Thanks. Well, I do want to get back to the picks, but I wanted to show you my hotel room. Would you like a tour?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I just want to say I don't know what kind of sheltered life people live, but many people in my messages are like, "Oh, you're going to Glasgow? Be careful," as if I'm going to war-torn Beirut in the 80s. It's like it's a city. Like, you know what I mean? It's like it's a city. Walking around today, you know what I mean? Like I mean, I think if you're not a teenager, you know what I mean? I think if you're an adult, you know how to, avoid trouble. But yeah, many messages about look out, as if I was traveling to anyway, it's lovely where I am. And this isn't even a nice part. This isn't a nice part of Scotland, Glasgow, but it's fine. So anyway, just wanted to say that.
Mm-hmm.
Where were we? You were talking about how far down men can finish and still make it, right? Because of the people who are already in. That's what we were discussing, right?
Absolutely. Maybe Ian, this is a good time for you to kind of recap who we've decided who has some pressure to qualify, who does not have pressure, and who maybe some of the top picks are so far.
Yeah, by all means, no pressure whatsoever. We've got Hunter, we've got JK, we've got Paleo, we've got Tim Venish, we've got Bo Wills, we've got Graham, because they've already qualified. They are playing with house money, as you'd say, of their mistakes. They are here to chill out, to hang out, and maybe win some prize money. So how many is that? That is 6 names. So in theory, if those are your top 6, you can then go down to the 7th, 8th, 9th spot for qualification. I'll be honest, I don't think that is going to mean that we will have those as top 6, because looking at those names, I think some of these athletes, and Grayson, you can agree or disagree with this. I think some of these athletes will go out, see how they're feeling, and if it's not working for them, they'll just drop back and just finish.
Yeah, I think we're going to see 2 races. Actually, this is my hunch. We're going to see 2 races. The people who are safe, the people who have already qualified. This is a great opportunity to see what they're capable in the front half, and maybe take risks that they haven't taken before. We're looking at people who are hungry for a world record, or people who want to see if they can push a pace that they've not maintained before. So I think we're going to see a distinct front pack of very safe racers. I think a guy like Hunter McIntyre is going to take it out, and he's going to try to make a statement in this race. And then I think there's going to be a second pack of people who are going to say, okay, this is my final shot. I've got to finish this race. I've got to finish in the qualifying marks. And they might feather the throttle just a little bit in the front half just to see where they can land. Right now, the funny thing,
feather the throttle.
It's a real thing. It's a whole racing concept. Here's what I think, though. What's going to be really interesting is there's guys who, and talking about all of us like male racers, we have egos that get in the way, and we see it over and over again in every major, right? So I'm going to be curious to see like who should be in that second pack, who's paying it, who should be like watching qualification spots, but they can't help but go out in the top 3 and they want to run for the money right from the start. I think that's going to be super interesting to watch.
That will be fascinating. And to your point, Grayson, I do think we're going to probably see almost a race within a race in that initial part you said about athletes who have qualified. Because I suspect that Hunter and JK will probably be looking to just race against each other to say this will be the last time, in theory, they race before Chicago. They're probably in anyone's top 5, if not top 3 contenders for the sport. Would you, as a racer, if you were JK or Hunter, what would you do now? Would you be trying to beat the other guy, to get in his head a little, or would you be worried about showing him too much?
Oh man, that's a great question. I think that comes down to different personalities. If we're talking about Hunter and JK specifically, I don't think they're worried about showing anything. And they kind of operate differently. In my opinion, it seems like JK has come in with a little bit of like the underdog story where he said like he's like the guy who's like, I'm not afraid to face off with anybody, no matter where I've come from before this, right? And we've seen that the rise of JK is him just moving up in majors, and then all of a sudden, kind of surprising a lot of us at the World Championship last year. And he's just not a guy. He's just not afraid to take big swings. Like if me and JK walked into a bar and he was my buddy, I'd be like, this guy, he's gonna take a swing at anybody. He's not afraid of how big you are. He's Rocky, and Hunter is Drago. And you like that reference? That's a good reference. That's a good reference. Hunter, on the other hand, it's a little bit different. Hunter's persona is a part of what makes him so hard to beat. And I think the whole Hyrox world is talking about this, right? When you stand, I've stood next to Hunter on a few start lines on my life, and it is intimidating for many, many people just to be next to him when he's on a start line. So intimidation, I think, is certainly a part of Hunter's drive and his desire. So I think you bet that Hunter's going to want to squash everybody in this race and make them afraid to race him again when it comes to the World Championship. And I think James is going to, I think JK is going to have a very similar approach where he's just going to be ready to take big swings at Drago.
Well, and especially because I think James, because he did have a disappointing last race. He was riding really high, right? He had come third in Worlds. He had won the Hong Kong Major, and then this one was a bit of a letdown, even though he didn't need to, right? He was already in, and so yeah, I think we have all these things going, and I think what I'm really present to is just how great and how real and how huge the sport is going. I was just messaging some athletes about getting together tomorrow. They're like, "Nope, we're doing media all day or for most of the day." So they got them doing their whole thing, and we know they'll do videos afterwards. And you've probably been seeing all these sponsors lately, and Lucy just signed with Red Bull, and like I feel like I say the same things every week, Ian, but we're still not close to the top of this fucking roller coaster.
No, not at all. We've not seen the peak. We probably can't even see it yet. We keep going up and up and up. Grayson, now let's talk about the other aspect. Is there any names, and this is a mean question, but is there any names looking at that Elite 15 who you think they are just going to almost do a JK and swing, thinking no one expects me to do well. My best chance of qualification is probably Barcelona, which is a traditional race. It's not on the grid, so we're back to a tradition. But they're just going to go all out and see where the chips may fall.
I think we saw. Man, I wish I listened to the pronunciation of these names earlier. I apologize. Is it Afon Humphreys? Afon. I think we've seen him in a few majors run in front, like run in front of Hunter. He'll go out the first lap, and he's gonna, and maybe that's a strategy. Maybe as a potentially shorter athlete, he's trying to get some ground in the first K so that he can not get dropped in the ski. That's an assumption. I don't know if that's a strategy. But I don't know. Like I was saying earlier, I've never seen Michael Sandback ever let people run in front of him. Right? If I was him, I'd be like, man, I just got to get into this World Championship. Let me run in sixth for a while and finish this race. I think he's going to smash the ski. He's going to go out in front of people, and he's just going to run against Hunter and James the whole time. That's my assumption. And I think it's the wrong move, but I think it's what he's going to do.
I think so too, and we're making lots of speculations, right? But this is our job, or at least it's my job. You guys are just playing along, but you get what I'm saying. Like we're here to do this because we could be wrong, because it's really easy for someone. Let's say it's Sandy, but it could be somebody else, to not do the smart thing, right? We're talking about the smart thing. Hold on for fifth or sixth, right? But if he doesn't, and he just goes all out and blows up and finishes eighth, that same athlete could be like, but yeah, I'm here to win. I'm not here to blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, that's one way to look at it. But you could also, I'm trying to think of a football analogy. You could also kick the field goal and go up by 9 and you're just to say, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to think of like a sports analogy that makes sense. And again, I'm not in the Elite 15. Easy for me to say, easy for you to say, Grayson, because you're not there. But yeah, that would be my move. I'd be like, let these idiots, being at the final table of a World Series of Poker, let everybody go after each other and get knocked out. You're a smaller stack, but you hold on. So that would be my move for this particular race, knowing there's so many spots down. I would let the field do its thing. Are we ready to move on to the women? We've
Before
spent
we
a long
talk
time
about
talking about
the
the men.
men, can we just shout out Andy Lee? I am doing a day for you. Who mentioned that Ryan Kent's wife is about to give birth, so he may not even compete. I'm not sure. I'm not checked Ryan Kent's socials recently, so I'm not sure if he's arrived in Glasgow yet. Good luck to the Kents, of course, and hopefully he'll be here. Matt, do you know anything to that?
I didn't read that comment because I have no idea if that's true or not.
I trust the audience. I trust the audience. I trust Andy Lee. So yeah, maybe it's true, maybe it's not. And I'm going to give you the sports analogy you're searching for. The NFL analogy would be you're in week 18. You've already got a wild card spot. And if you win the game, you could get a slightly better wild card spot. If you lose, it doesn't matter, and you rest your starters. That would be the sports analogy for you.
Okay, I'll take that one. And I'm not trying to be mean to Andy, but I honestly have no idea if that's true. I don't know. Have you heard that, Grayson?
I don't know. Nope.
Okay, so yeah, I was not going to speak on that until I looked. I was going to look it up later. As far as I know, he's here and racing, but I was going to look it up later. But Ian, you're basically filling Dave's role, and Dave's role is to always read every comment, whether it makes sense to read it or not. So, anyway, let's go on to the women. Grayson, why aren't you here, by the way? How long is it going to take you to get in this Elite 15, buddy?
Thanks for the opportunity to talk about me. You know, I love that. Here's the deal. I ran 57.50 in Vegas. I won the men's pro. And then I did not get everyone got a time. So I had my watch, Katie's watch, my dad's watch, set around 57.50. I look up on the leaderboard, it said
That was amazing,
You
Ian.
lost Grayson too. What Wi-Fi have you paid for?
I just love that the suspense is so real. He got something. We'll never know what that time would have been. Does his face still look like he's saying?
Yeah, it really, really does. You might want to put him backstage because this is really mean.
I can't do it backstage. I'm on the phone now. Every time I open my laptop, it would freeze. That's why I kicked those two guys out and got on my phone to bring us back. He'll figure out. He'll come back.
We're really sorry, Grayson.
Here?
We're back.
Hey, sorry. Yeah, I lost my connection there for a second. I don't even know where I was. I was rambling.
You said that you and Katie's grandma got to watch a 57.50, but then they gave you a different time.
Yeah, me, Katie, and my dad. We all you cross line at 57.50, and then every other pro got a 20-second time adjustment except this guy. So all that to say, I know how well I raced in Vegas. I raced really well in Vegas. I won the pro division, and I got sponsors who are sending me to Barcelona. So I will be there racing.
Let's go! Let's go!
Yeah.
So did you speak to anybody? I mean, we all know that Vegas, at that time period, there was a month where all the times were fucked up. And we know that there was a grid scenario where they gave the men a bonus and the women a bonus. Why did they give the men a 20-second bonus?
I don't know. Yeah, and so on the next day in Saturday races, the pro women, I believe. So Kat Fosbender told me that she got a 20-second adjustment, and then most of the men's pro and men's pro doubles got 20-second adjustments. So I kind of walked out of the venue super confident that I was going to get my 57.50 the way that I wanted. Man, running 57 is hard. It's not easy to do. So I wanted it really, and to me, it felt like a statement. Like I wanted that 57. But I didn't get it, and I still haven't. So what I've been doing, I've just been sending an email every week saying like, hey, here's my scenario. Everyone else got a time adjustment. I would like one too. I don't think it's going to change anything, but I want to draw
Where would
attention
it
to the
put
problem.
you? Where would it put you though? What would your best 2 times be then?
Oh, it wouldn't put me that close yet because my previous time was like a 59:10 in Chicago. So it would put my average like in the 58s somewhere.
Okay, so you still need to but still even in the top 40 is better than not, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, think about like guys that I'm racing right around. Like I'm like Colin Stiefer and I are rubbing elbows mid race, and he got into the Vegas major, right? Because he was there and he was the next guy to call up. Speaking of Colin Stiefer, him and I are going to be men's pro teams in Houston this weekend, so that'll be sweet.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Who do
All
you
right.
think you think you can beat Dylan?
Um, this Dylan told me you have to believe you can beat anybody. He texted that to me right after the Vegas major. So he would probably be disappointed in me if I said that I don't think I can beat him. His partner seems legit, but my partner seems legit, and we're fast right now. So we're coming out swinging. We're going to be the guys who should probably hang on for third, but run for first.
Grayson, you know JK and Jake Dearden are coming competing in Houston too, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then Marcus Wallace and Dustin are another team. So, and we're just talking 3 teams right now. They're going to be super stacked for the men's field. And then awesome teams, Joanna and Tia Claire Toomey for the women's field. So Houston's going to be like a major in itself.
Are you is Katie going to that one?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So when everybody tells me is there a live stream, I'm going to say yeah, Katie's going to film Grayson.
Perfect. That sounds great. That'd be awesome. There's going to be big players out there, man. It's going to be a big race.
Listen, I'm tempted. You know what I mean? I've been gone a long time already, and by the time I get back, I'll have been gone a week. But I was like, shoot, should I go to Houston? Like, there's so much happening.
Yeah, that really I think the thing that gets me really excited is the Tia and Joanna team team that's going to be going on. I don't know what time Saturday, but that could be a fast team. It'd be very dangerous.
Tia and Joanna?
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Yeah,
no shit.
Yeah, they're gonna be gnarly. I think that's the big story for the weekend, to be honest.
I think so too.
Should we talk about women in Glasgow though?
Yeah, let's do that because I think we have less than 30 minutes before Ian has to get on another show.
Okay. You gonna let me talk about the Deca clinic at some point?
Let's do the Deca clinic now because I will definitely forget. And we'll get you on when it's closer as well. Isn't it in a bit?
Mm-hmm.
Can I try to explain what I know about it first?
Yeah, let's go.
So you and Bubbles and Katie are teaching a Deca medical clinic. It's going to be like CPR and like life-saving type. Is that what it is? Is that what the clinic is?
Yeah, you're dead on. Yeah. If you need CPR, you want me doing those chest compressions. I'll break those ribs for you any day.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So the SoCal Deca event, an almost sold out Deca race, which is big news in itself, is going on down April 19th. The night before at 4 p.m., April 18th, in the venue, myself, Kevin Gregory, and Katie Duke are going to be hosting a Deca clinic on site in the venue using the actual Deca equipment. So Yancey's going to make an appearance. He's going to talk to the group, which I think is always a cool experience to meet Yancey and hear what he has to say. And then we got a 2-hour clinic where we're going to walk station by station. We're going to teach all the zone technique, all of the racing strategy. We're going to cover Deca Strong, Deca Mile, Deca Atlas. We're going to even talk about team strategies. A lot of us on that crew are great team racers. So it's going to be a really epic opportunity to spend some time face-to-face with us and to hear me make fun of Kevin.
And what is the cost for this?
Yeah, right now, if you register right now, you're going to get a discount opportunity for like 124, I think. So the first handful of registrants, I think is the first 20 are getting that $120. Everybody else is going to get it at 149. We've got 45 spots available right now. So the goal is to break it down like a 1 coach to 15 athletes type of experience. So you're going to get some like small group training, and then we're going to come back together as a large group And like I said, then you're in the large group, you're going to watch me make fun of Kevin. So it's going to be
Well,
sweet, man. It's going to be sweet.
I love it. My only suggestion would be I'd bump that to 3 hours just because, it's a lot, right? You're gonna go through each station, so maybe you could convince Yancey to keep the doors open later and like get into the bike alone. People are gonna bug Kevin for 30 minutes asking him bike questions. So bump that up. But other than that, it sounds like a great plan.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. We're excited about it. We want people to register. We're mostly excited to like get some face-to-face time with athletes all around the area. And it's going to be cool. They're going to get to know us, and then we're all racing each other the next morning. So I'm hoping they all cheer for me when I race. That's what this is all about, isn't it?
It is. All right. Let's quickly go over who's racing that's already in, and then we'll go after who's probably gonna make it. Who's already in, Ian?
Okay, so already in, we don't have as many coming over. We only have 5 ladies who are coming in. We've got Lauren Weeks, we've got Linda Meyer, we've got Joanna. I cannot say Joanna's surname for life of me.
It's either Wittrick or Wettrick, but go ahead.
Either way, Kate Davey and Lucy Proctor. So an American, a German, an Australian, two Brits are already qualified. Notable names from across the pond, shall we say, first and foremost, because we went through that earlier. You've got Maria Fecic. You've got Camilla Massa. I know she represents Italy as well as the US, but she is in the US. And we also have Jessica Petrol, who is representing Australia, but also lives in the US. So they're all athletes who, and Vivian as well. Beg your pardon, Vivian.
Mhm.
Vivian as well. Those 4 athletes are all from across the pond, so it's slightly more inconvenient for them to come for a last chance qualifier compared to a lot of these other athletes who live nearer. Any name? Well, firstly, Matt, I will say this is an interesting race because we're going to see almost similar to the men, in fact, you're going to have 2 races within the race. But I do think you're going to see Lauren and Joanna probably just race for domination to see, Lauren's going to win her 3rd major to equal what I think Meg did last year. Joanna wants to prove that her victory was not a fluke. What say you, Grayson?
Man, yeah, I think we know who's going to be running the front, and I think that look at the women's race in Vegas, right? We saw the way the top 5 shake out in a way where people were coming up from the back, man. People who had ran some smart and patient races were really closing down in those podium positions. And I think we could see something similar here, where sure we might see some top athletes really go for it. I think you're right. Lauren's going to go for it. I think Joanna's going to go for it. But I think we're going to see a great fight for those final qualifying spots. I'm thinking of people who have been to the big show many times before, like some staple names. I'm talking about Camila. I'm talking about Vivian. They know how to get there. They always get there, right? So I'm watching those people see like how are they going to get there this time?
Yeah, I'm going to make the obvious joke and say that Vivian finishes 4th and qualifies because there's going to be at least one qualified lady on the podium. So that's the obvious joke. But yeah, I wouldn't bet against Vivian taking one of them qualifying spots. Fascinating to me is Tanya as well. I can't say her surname, but she's from Austria. She is from one of Ronco's stable. He doesn't really have a stable, but he's encouraged a lot of triathletes to try out Hyrox. This is her first shot at an Elite 15. And Matt, I think you've been speaking to her as well, haven't you? She's really excited for this weekend.
Yeah, she was right on the bubble last time, and then this time she wasn't even sure, I think, until about a week ago, the way the roll downs went. I forgot who decided not. Just got a phone call from the president. I forgot who am I frozen?
You're back.
You still back?
For fuck's sake.
No, we can hear
Just
you.
talk, Matt. We can hear you. Just talk.
Maybe he can't hear us.
Maybe he can't hear us. I think what he was saying is he forgot who didn't get the roll down.
Mm.
Other athletes to look out for, of course, is we have Zara Piergianni, who you'll remember, those of you who definitely watched the relays when she was in a wall ball off with Meg. She had a sizable advantage and she held a nerve and she took the first place for Team England. It's a surprise that she hasn't qualified yet. She seems to always be just outside those qualification spots when it comes to roll down, doesn't she, Grayson?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'd be curious. You know, from being over here in North America, it's easy for me to kind of like know the names of the people from my side of the country. I'm curious from your perspective, Ian, who are you thinking, or maybe like who do you want from your side of the world to snag a spot to qualify for the World Championship?
Well, it's kind of easy for me to some degree because I can easily be a homer, and I will. Look, I want to see Zara in Chicago. Zara is one of them athletes who makes the race better, like Kate Davey, you know. And it would be weird if Kate was there and Zara wasn't. So I really expect Zara to either get a spot here in Glasgow or to go and raise hell in Barcelona and get a spot. Also, for sentimental reasons and because she's a great athlete, Jade Skillen. I think Jade's potential qualification is maybe a little bit more difficult than Zara's because we've got a little bit of echo here. But yeah, Jade has had a little bit of a rougher time in the majors so far, but it only takes one race, as you know, Grayson.
So Jade seemed to be having a decent race and then dropped out in Vegas. And honestly, athletes who were running kind of right around her positioning were able to move up and finish very well in Vegas. So I don't know the story behind her not finishing that race, but if she's ready to finish this race, she's in it just as much as anybody.
Yeah, I think Jade said on socials that she just felt something pull, and I'm sure you've been there, Grayson, where you feel something pull. It's just not your race. You don't want to push it. Another athlete who I'm very surprised hasn't qualified yet is Viola Oberlander, who is a legend within Hyrox and one of the first world champs. So again, we made this joke with the men, and I'll give a shout out to Hybrid Sport Media because we did a preview episode with them. If I'm a racer going to Barcelona, I do not want Viola to be on that start line with me. So there's quite a few people who are going to be praying to whatever deity they believe in, but some of these racers will not be there. Yeah, you have to take them on in Chicago if you qualify, but it'd be nice to get that spot. So those are mine. I might as well go through the rest of the field while we're at it because we mentioned pretty much all of them. So Jana Liebenstedt and Sika Arning, I'll mention both of these at the same time because their careers have almost been linked. They may either have done doubles with each other. Great German athletes. We know how good the German athletes are. If I remember, I think, and someone's going to correct me in the comments, one of these ladies definitely qualified in the last chance qualifier. I want to say it was Jana last year, but I don't know for sure. But it wouldn't surprise me if either one of these athletes qualified from, say, the third qualifying spot after roll downs. So great athletes there. I'm curious as to what Lucy, Kate, and Linda will do. Whether they will, again, I'm going to throw it to you, Grayson. The house money is on Lauren and on Joanna to be 1-2 in some combination. If you're a Linda, Kate, and Lucy, knowing you've already qualified, knowing that if you blow up, it doesn't matter, do you see if you can hang with those athletes?
Yeah, I think you do. And I really think I'm thinking from a coach's perspective as well as an athlete's perspective. If I was a coach who had an athlete already qualified, they're going to be in the major. I'm going to go at it with like a real "what do you have to lose" mentality. There's money on the line. Chase that money. Go get after it. And the other piece is very rarely do you get the opportunity in Hyrox to see what you can handle in the front end of a race. And I kind of mentioned that with the men, right? The back half of Hyrox is so scary. And the idea of especially blowing up in a major on such a public scene is so scary. Most of the time when you're trying to qualify, you're not going to take significant risks. If you know you're fit, if you're already qualified, your coach might say, "Hey, let's take a risk on the front half. Let's push some of those 1Ks and kind of see where we land. And if we blow up, doesn't matter. We're still in the race." So um, I might take a big swing like that, and as a coach, I might encourage something like that. I've even heard. I think I've even heard of like Rich Ryan and maybe Anthony talking about a strategy like that as well. That they might have some of their athletes take a shot.
It'd be interesting because obviously Kate is coached by Hybrid Engine, so I'm sure Anthony will be feeding her some great tips there. I'm not sure who Linda is coached by. I'm not sure. Lucy is actually coached by Meg Jacoby. So it'd be really fascinating what game plan. And Lucy is still a young athlete. It's scary how long her and Joanna could probably stay in this sport if they wanted to, because as we know, particularly with female athletes, when it comes to endurance races, you get better as you get older. So imagine how good they're going to be in 5 years, 10 years.
Oh, certainly. And one of the things we see in like high school and collegiate sports all the time. Now they're older than high school and collegiate sports, but sometimes what you're seeing, the learning curve, it can be real steep for a young athlete where they might have more fitness than they realize, they might have more skill than they've realized, and they're still just discovering the race. And so if you watch someone like Lucy, she might discover the race in a whole new way at this major, and she could blow the doors off in a way that we're not really prepared for, right? I think young athletes are exciting in that way, where sometimes it's like a skill development thing or a confidence development thing, where when you get a young athlete to really believe in herself like that, she might just sail and do something truly incredible.
She races without fear. I've been fortunate enough to watch a few of Lucy's races and other hybrid competitions, and she will take it to the race. Just got a couple of comments here from our good friend, another Tanya Tees, over in Luxembourg, saying that Jana was the one who got in via last qualifier in Cologne last year. So
yeah.
I did remember that. And Linda is coached by a Strong Move coach.
Awesome.
I'm not too familiar with their work, but obviously they're doing a great job, eh, Grayson?
Yeah, I think so. I actually haven't heard of them either, but clearly doing a good job. So, what about Ian? Can I ask you? Sorry, can I ask you about Camila? What do you know? What do you think? Where do you think she lands in this race?
Camila is one of these athletes who I love watching because she's either going to do really, 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 really well, or she won't do as well. It is almost like she's one of them athletes we're talking about who will take the race on. She will do as well as she possibly can, and she'll probably have a bit of support here in Glasgow as well. You know, it's not that far for her family in Italy to move over. I love watching Camila race, probably for the same reason as Lucy, because she's another athlete who, yeah, she's a little bit older than Lucy, but she races without fear, and I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think she. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, Camila is definitely one of them racers who, if I'm ahead of her and I'm on wall balls, I kind of want to have a nice lead before she turns up.
Absolutely. I wonder how this is going to go, and I don't know enough about her current story right now. If she's facing injury or a health, I don't know what's going on. What I do know is that the same thing that I kind of said earlier about her. she's always been there. She's someone who's always gotten to the big show. And that is a really someone who always figures out how to get there is a dangerous athlete to be racing when the pinch is on. Like when it's close, when we're worried about who's going to grab those final spots. Someone who always figures out how to make it happen is a scary person to race. She's got the experience, the confidence. I think she could do something big.
Yeah. What's interesting about Camila, and I'm not saying none of these other athletes are doing this, but Camila definitely is someone who will take on lots of fitness races during her calendar. We see her a lot in Deca as well. I know some of these racers do. Kate Davey, Lucy, Zara, and actually Jade all do in the UK because we've got so many fitness races. I'm not sure about some of the other athletes, whether they specialize, but we know Camila definitely does go all in on fitness racing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she has some great sponsors and is entirely committed to the process. It's downright inspiring, that's for sure. Ian, do you want to take some guesses? This is kind of a fun one. Lauren has beat Joanna a handful of times. Joanna's beat Lauren one time. Do you think Joanna beats Lauren again this year?
This year, that's an interesting one because you're including Chicago in there as well, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. Money on table. Curse of the commentator here. I think Lauren probably takes it now in Glasgow. The reason I'm saying that is that Lauren has a nicer travel schedule than Joanna does because she's coming all the way from across the world. When it comes to Chicago, I think it might be too close to call because I expect Joanna. I don't know for sure, but I expect Joanna will spend more time acclimatizing to America. And we've also got to remember that this isn't even the biggest race for Joanna this week in a way. Yes, it's a massive race, it's a major,
Yeah,
but as you just
right.
mentioned, she's got one eye on making sure she catches her flight to Houston.
Yeah. Oh, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. As a coach and competitor, I like to think about the psychology in all of this, and um, I'll say I'll say like what I would be thinking if I was Joanna, knowing full well that these women are mentally stronger than me and tougher than me in so many ways. But I think if you've beaten Lauren Weeks once, you're wondering. I'd be wondering if it was a fluke and if I could ever do it again. And so I think the how this pans out in Glasgow for Joanna might affect her mindset for how she views Lauren and whether or not she's actually beatable on such a large stage. But again, that's a mind game, and I can't assume that Joanna succumbs to mind games in her racing. Right? These are the fittest and mentally toughest women on the planet. Right? So I always wonder, when she's training at home this week, is she thinking about Lauren? Is she worrying about her at all? I've got times on the treadmill when I'm sitting there thinking about the people I'm going to race against. But sometimes you see that some of the mentally toughest women in the world, they're not even thinking about that. They're just preparing to race their best race. So I'm curious what she might even be thinking going into this race in relationship to Lauren Weeks.
I am. I'd love to be a fly on the wall in her chats with her coach. Here's a question for you, Grace, and I might be messing up my recollection here. In the last major, last year, the majors were Lauren versus Meg, and they went back and forth. The last major last year, I'm fairly sure Linda snuck in between them and took second place overall. Could you see that happening in Glasgow? And if it is there any lady that you would say could take that second or perhaps even first spot other than Lauren and Joanna?
I think, man, I think most people would say Linda again. I listen to a few podcasts, people who are paying attention to what's going on out there. I think it's something that Linda could do, or maybe another young, newer athlete who is too new at this to follow the rules of the road, and just kind of pop a big race and do whatever they need to do. So I'd say I think Linda could definitely slide in there again.
I think it's going to be a really fascinating race, and we're now hit around about an hour and a half, which is probably usually where Matt looks to wrap this up. I apologize, listener, in advance. Matt has just messaged. Sadly, it does sound like he's not getting any luck with the Wi-Fi. I'm sure he'll record an intro to this before he puts it up. Grayson, before we look to wrap this up, have you got any last thoughts about this Wednesday's race? That sounds weird even to me.
Mm-hmm.
Someone asked, before I ask you for your last thoughts, let's quickly go through some of these comments.
Sure.
Nathan Karabot said, at what time will Glasgow Elite start on Wednesday? I believe that the ladies will be at 6 p.m. local time, men are 7:30 p.m. I've not seen that written anywhere, but that tends to be how they do it. And it also looks like the live stream is going live at 5:20, and they usually do a pre-show about half an hour or so. So that suggests to me ladies at 6, men at 7:30. For those of you on East Coast, that will be 1 p.m. East Coast for the men. Oh, beg your pardon. Let me double check that a second, because you have just gone to daylight saving hours, haven't you?
Yeah, we have over here, that's for sure. I don't know how that
Yeah.
works though. I just wait for the sun to come up.
Yeah. Well, the UK doesn't do that until what's it called? Until later on. So yeah, as
Mm.
we're recording this, it is coming up to 8 o'clock here, and it is 4 o'clock in New York. So there's only 4 hours. So let me rephrase what I've just said. Sorry about that, listener. The race will be happening 6 p.m. local time. That will be, I want to say, 2 p.m. East Coast, and you can then work it out from there. And it'll be
Mm-hmm.
3:30 p.m. East Coast in America for the men's race. So that's that. Tanya T's also said that Strong Move is Bjorn. They are in Cologne and do a lot of weightlifting to running to neuro athletic trainings. Absolute one of the best coaches. So if you're in Cologne, look up Bjorn. Is there any other that we should look at this? I don't even know how to scroll down on this. I'm not sure if you can scroll down at all.
I don't think I'm
Um,
even seeing all of the comments that you are. Someone said, I was here to listen to Bubbles, bring him back. I'm always here to listen to Bubbles too. I wish he was here. I understand.
I was enjoying
And
listening to Bubbles, Andy Yorkshire Terrier.
a little squeaky toy in the background. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we covered it. If we haven't, we apologise. So Grayson, let's look to wrap it up. What are your final thoughts about Hyrox Glasgow, and are you brave enough to put out a top 3?
Oh man. I think, well, here's the deal. In all of Hyrox racing, momentum is everything. So everything that we said about strategy, right? If you're going to run in the front pack that's already qualified and willing to risk it, or if you're going to run in the second pack that's trying to qualify, really an athlete's got to be paying attention to like what momentum do they have mid race, and momentum is very mental in a Hyrox event. And anyone who's actually raced in a Hyrox knows exactly what I'm talking about. Your self belief, the way that you think about how you're racing in the moment, does so much for how you're going to finish that race. So I think, with that said, the master of momentum is Hunter McIntyre. I think when we're talking on the men's side, I'm calling him number 1. I'm taking James Kelly number 2, and I want to see someone who's not qualified take a big swing and get on the podium. I don't even know if I care who that is exactly. Maybe as a fan of Rich Ryan, I'd like to see that happen for him. He posted a great time in Chicago this year, and I'd love to see him make his way onto a podium. I think that'd be really cool. On the women's side, I'm going to obviously have to go with Lauren Weeks and Joanna. Excited to see how that shakes out. And I think it's Linda maybe on the podium as well.
I think they are great picks. I think I've gone through my qualification on the hybrid sports media, so go and listen to that. And I apologize, listener, I cannot remember who I picked, so I'm not going to embarrass myself. So I'll go for the podium. I'm going to slightly disagree, Grayson. I'm going to go JK, then Hunter. But I reckon it's going to be, wafer thin between them. I'm going to go for Sandy, Michael Sandbach to get third and get a qualification place in style. For the ladies, let's go cursive commentator here, but let's absolutely go Lauren Weeks at first. Let's go Joanna second. I think she'll still be enough. And let's go Kate Davey because I think the home field will really help her, but she's going to have to beat some good athletes to get there. Right, with all that being said, I'm going to wrap this up for Matt. Grayson, if people want to find out more about you, how can they find you, in the great wide world of the internet?
Absolutely. The easiest way, you can find me on Instagram at kilgore.coaching. And then my website is kilgorecoaching.com. So that's the places they can find me. We've got some posts coming out right now today with more information about the Deca Fit Clinic happening in Southern California. So if any listeners are curious about that and want to get that discount rate as they sign up early, go to my Instagram and find it there. Or if you follow the Deca website, obviously my stuff's going to be up, or the Deca Instagram, my stuff's going to be up there today.
Perfect. I will also give a shout out to the other guests who have sadly didn't manage to make it to the discussion of Elite 15s. I'm really curious what they would have said. Hopefully someone can get them on. But big shout out to all the way from South Africa, Cameron Cleaver. Go and follow him on Instagram. Also, our good friends Kevin, Bubbles the Clown, Gregory. Make sure you go and follow him on the Instagram. Obviously, our fine host who got us here, Matt B. Davis, Hybrid Fitness Media. But you're already following that. If you think we did an okay job here, feel free to follow mine, which is at uk.hxr. You can also catch us on Fitness Racing Podcast every Wednesday. And with that being said, I guess I'll be saying goodbye, listener. We'll speak to you all soon, and we'll be back with Matt next week for the weekly show, I hope.